Hello, welcome back to the next episode of All the Mods 10. And today, third time's the charm. I've said it the past two episodes, we're actually going to finish out our Mechanism Reactors chapter. Between episodes, I did a little bit of work. I finished out the room and added some more storage to this induction matrix. So now we can store 96 trillion just because you don't need 96 trillion FE, I'm telling you. Our things still running good. I let the world run for a couple hours just to make sure I had all the things right and I was crafting that. So yeah, it seems 83 millibuckets per tick is like the really good net neutral for us. This is slowly going up. I mean slowly. Like I've been running this, like I said, for like 6 or 7 hours, and it's gone up maybe 200,000 millibuckets. So yeah, it's very slow gain, but this is good for us. And then yeah, everything else is more or less the same. I did add in some things over here from Advanced AE. The Quantum Crafter, essentially what the Quantum Crafter does is you put a pattern that you want to craft into here, and then you go in the configure pattern and you tell the system how much of it you want to have. So in my case, I say I want to have 500 of these in the system at all times. So if there's not 500 in the system, it'll start crafting them. And then if you leave it at 0, it'll just craft them forever, infinitely. I don't want to do that though. So, but with the quartz though, for example, I did leave it at 0 because it just uses the quartz essence, and I don't want to keep any quartz essence like in the system. I want to have it as quartz automatically. Whenever we do craft with quartz, it's just faster. So yeah, that's that. And then these are ME requesters, which are basically the same thing, except these can request things from machines. So the Quantum Crafter does anything you can do in a crafting table. The requester goes out and makes requests to craft things that require a machine. So in this case, I put like concrete in there because I'm tired of like waiting for it, and I want an automated supply at all times, especially like when doing new rooms and stuff. It just makes things much faster. And yeah, it's essentially the same thing. Also added some of the mechanism stuff. And then yeah, so then when we come in here and look at like Mechanism, for example, it's crafting all this up to 1,000 or as close to 1,000 as it can get. Usually goes over by a little bit, and I'll have that in the system at all times. So our lithium dust is up to 616,000, and then our pellets, like I said, I'll let the world run for a long time, is up to 11,500, and then plutonium pellets a little over 700, and then HDPE sheets a little over 34,500. So I'm gonna stop yapping and let's get straight into the episode. So first thing we need to do, I want to build this SPS thing. That's gonna be pretty straightforward. So if we open this, you'll see you need 72 SPS casings. And I don't remember if last episode we made a thing for this. We did. So I want to make 72 casings. This is kind of like you only need to make one size. There's no like variable size to this thing. So there we go. We got the SPS casing, and then we'll need structural glass. Structural glass. Wait, how much did it say we needed? It says we need 122. Now we're seeing 120 because I pulled out 2. And then we also need at least 3 SPS ports. I'm gonna go with let's see, SPS port. Let's go ahead and make 3. It says we need at least 3, right? I think so. So let's go ahead and get all that, and then that should be the quest done. Oh, and we get a port as well. Okay, so we get an extra port out of the quest. That's nice. Oh, also I have a cardboard box in my inventory. I almost forgot because someone said I could pick up the black hole with this. Maybe I might have just lost a cardboard box. Nope, got it. Oh, you can put a black hole like that. Yeah, just use a cardboard box to get a black hole. Nice. Thank you for the suggestion. I like your guys' comments, by the way. It's very helpful in a lot of cases. I've been learning a lot, so definitely appreciate it. Let's go ahead and build this phase shifter. It is a little weird, so I'm going to walk through it step by step. It's a little different. Same, but different from these multi-blocks. And actually, before we do that, we're going to need to make, and the quest line wants us to make these super charged coils. I'm going to go ahead and make 2 of these, which require lasers. And we're going to need a lot of lasers, actually, for later, and you will definitely see why we need quite a few of these lasers. I'm gonna teach system how to craft the laser. And then we want, go ahead and request 2 lasers here. 2 lasers. Thank you. And then we will just craft 2 of these supercharged coils. You only need 1. You don't need 2. You can have up to like 4, maybe 6. No. Yeah, so you can have up to 6, I think. Not sure, but I'll be using 2. You can get away with 1. Like I said, it's up to you. Now that we have everything, you'll see in the next quest here, it tells you how to build it, and I'm gonna walk through with you. It is pretty easy to build. It looks more complicated than it is, I promise. So what you want to do here is you want to start off with, depending on where you want to build it, I would recommend building it in a single chunk. As with most multi-blocks, that's usually the best idea. And from the wall, I'm gonna come 1 out. And I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3. Excuse me, my throat is not happy today. And I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3 here. And I'm gonna place 1 here, 1 here. That's SPS casing, by the way. And then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. Come down, and then 1, 2, 3, I believe. And then 1, 2, 3. And then you just fill in the center like so. And then fill on this side also. And that's what it basically looks like. In the end, the glass should be a 3x4 going each way, I guess. You have 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not 4, 5. Sorry, 5. And that's kind of how I build every side. So from here, I'll just kind of repeat the process on each side. So for example, from here, we just build up 5. So go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then build up the glass like this. And then you do that on each side like so. And then from there, you take your SPS casing and cap off the top. I'm going to get rid of the chunk borders. And then on the sides here, you want to leave 1 block of space on each side and then come out 1 like this. So 1 below, 1 above, and just repeat that process. And then once you're done, you can take your casings and pretty much just fill in these gaps like this on each and every side. Not out there, right there. And then fill in these corners like so. Filling in. And then again, fill in the corners here like we did on the bottom. And now we just have the top left, which is the same thing we did in the bottom, and just fill in the 3x5 with glass. Did I miscalculate how much glass we need? Possibly. But let's keep doing it anyway. Like this, and then take your last 4 SPS casings and fill them in like so. And there we go. We have a full multi-block. You see it should form like this. You'll see the red particles and everything. Excuse me. And now I just realized why we're missing some structural glass. That's because you need to put in these SPS ports and kind of go wherever you want them to. I'm gonna put in a port here on this side facing our matrix, and you will see why. I'll put a port here, and I'll put a port here, and then I'll put a port on the bottom, I guess, of this thing. So let's put a port here as well. And then we can probably go inside here. I mean, I will go inside. Just come inside, place 1 supercharged coil here and 1 here. It depends on how many coils you have. If you have more coils, you need more ports, things like that. And each coil needs to go on top of a port. So if you just have 1, you put 1 here, forget about it. If you have 2, like this, do whatever you want. And then you can put it on top, bottom, however you feel. So now this bad boy is almost ready to start running. Next thing we need to do is get some ultimates cables here. Ultimate universal cables. And I'm going to just run it probably underneath here. and I'll run it from there to our matrix and connect it up. And there we go. Now we're pulling power out of our matrix and into here. And each of these SPS ports can hold 400 million FE. These things are very, very power hungry. We'll go ahead and say we completed that because we did. And then the last thing is antimatter pellets. These take a lot of power to produce. It takes, I think they said it takes about was it like 400 million FE to produce 1 millibucket of antimatter. So yeah, very power hungry, very late game. Now you might be wondering, how do we produce the antimatter? And to produce the antimatter, you need to fill your supercritical phase shifter, what we just built, with polonium. And it takes about 1 bucket of polonium produces 1 millibucket of antimatter. So for us at least, if you make the max setup, our biocap is going to be power. So let's go ahead and run our cable of polonium underneath here. I'm gonna run polonium cable from from our area over here to the phase shifter. And actually, I've kind of changed my mind. I'm not going to run a cable from there to there. What I'm going to do is we're going to use a quantum entangleporter to transport it, just because that's going to be a little bit easier, and I don't want to really run the cable like that. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is request those ingots, and then get a teleportation core, which is pretty easy for us. We're going to need 2 teleportation cores, just because we're going to need 2 of these bad boys. Because you input from one and extract from the other is essentially what it is. And we'll go ahead and make another quantum entangleporter. And I'm gonna come over here and essentially just go ahead and hook it up from here. So this was making our polonium for us. And what I'm gonna go ahead and do is set the chemicals from the right to be inputs. You should just work. I set a frequency here. Frequency for I don't know. Polonium, I guess. Do that. So we're on there, and now we should be on the polonium frequency. And now, as you can see, our chemicals are coming in from the right. I'm gonna go ahead and disable everything else, just to make sure it doesn't get any wise ideas. But yeah, so our chemicals are coming in from the right, and now we should have lots of polonium in here. And essentially, what we can do now is then run to our quantum entangleporter over here. Put this on the bottom. Set our chemical outputs to top. Turn everything else off. And then set our frequency to polonium. And this should, in theory, be getting polonium. You would think. Our chemicals outputs. Project on. What's the problem here? Alright, so I'm not sure if it, since it's radioactive or not, if our entangleporter will transport it. It seems to transport power fine, water fine, but for whatever reason, the chemicals, it's won't do it. If I set it to none, it seems to be an update issue, possibly. So if I just go ahead and place this down like that, and set our chemicals to inputs, yeah, it just won't grab it, so I will have to run a cable after all. Alright, so I've gone ahead and connected everything up under the ground to hide the disgusting wires. But yeah, so we've actually already made a little bit of antimatter with all of the polonium we had built up. We've got 40 millibuckets of antimatter, which is a decent amount actually. It doesn't sound like much, but for a little bit of backup that we had, it was quite a bit. And the reason we're not producing antimatter now, go and chunk load these also, is because it's nighttime and we're not producing polonium because they require the solar neutron activators to work. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is turn this machine off so we're not using plutonium anymore, and we'll put all of our waste towards polonium. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. The sun's coming up actually, so might be able to see it in action here soon. And here we go. Now it's working. Looks really cool. Actually, look, this graphic is updated from last time that I saw it. So yeah, definitely powers are a bottleneck here because usually... Oh, well, I guess I made a little bit more. I think power is going to be our bottleneck for sure, though. But yeah. Energy input 121 mil, and it's only using 121 mil now because we've stored up so much energy. But yeah, as you can see, it's draining our energy right now. Insanely quick. In order to get the actual antimatter pellet itself, which you will need because the liquid antimatter is used for nothing. You can use it in the antiprotonic nucleosynthesizer, I guess is what that's called. But all these recipes are completely useless to us. You don't need them at all. Turns a bow into a crossbow maybe, but the rest of it, it's pretty useless to us. If you're playing like vanilla mechanism, I guess this amethyst and echo shard would be kind of nice. But the rest of it, pretty useless for us. No reason for us to have use any of these. So we're gonna go ahead and convert all of our antimatter into antimatter pellets. So let's see. Do I have any chemical crystallizers? Can I craft them? I love that I auto crafted all this stuff. Or had it set to be auto craftable. Go ahead and take that. And then let's come back down here. And then let's just take our chemical crystallizer. And should be able to take antimatter, which I think antimatter is a fluid? Maybe. It could be a chemical, but let's see. I think it's a... Nope. Okay, so it's for sure a chemical. That would make sense. Especially since this thing's called a chemical crystallizer. But yeah, so then we'll just set this to... we'll just give you a little bit of this. A little bit of power. And then there's no real reason to upgrade this past anything because, like I said, antimatter takes a while to make. And then I'll go and grab our configurator here and set this to extract. So now we should have antimatter in here. And then once we get 1,000 mil buckets, we'll be able to make a single pellet. It hurts. I'm also going to go ahead and slap a drawer up out front and then have our output set to front with eject on. So as you can see, this is very power hungry if you couldn't tell already. And yeah, so we need to solve that issue. And we're going to solve that issue with Mekanism fusion reactors. So these are also a one size kind of thing. There's no like variable sizes to this stuff. Once activated, the reactor can push out up to 80 million RF a tick. We'll see about that, buddy. But yeah, so it can also be cooled with water to produce steam, which can go into an industrial turbine to make even more power, which is probably what we'll end up doing, to be honest, because I do like a lot of power, you know? So let's see how much power it can produce with the one Mekanism fusion reactor and turbine combo. First, we need to gather all these materials, though. We need reactor glass. We need, if I could get this right, we need fusion reactor ports. We need fusion reactor frames. And that's kind of where the polonium pellets and all that come in that I've been storing. And then last but not least, if I could get this right, please, a fusion reactor controller. So none of these are weird recipes we haven't seen before. The pellets we did last episode, and the rest of it's pretty straightforward. All in all, it's not that expensive to build. And there we go. We have all of our materials that we need and then some. So let's get to building. And the fusion reactor is pretty much built in a very similar fashion to how I built the SPS casing. So what I'm going to do actually is go ahead and I'm trying to think of how I want to build these because we are going to be stacking some turbines somewhere. Not sure where they're going to go. We need all this room went from like, oh, I'll do Mekanism and, you know, modern industrialization to this is just a Mekanism multi-block room. Is what this turned into. So yeah, I'm actually gonna go ahead and build the turbine, or not the turbine, the reactor right here. So if you open the quest book to build said turbine, it kind of shows you how to do it, a 3x3 with glass, and then repeat that process everywhere on each side pretty much. And you know what I meant by 3x3 with a little cross in the middle. So Let's go ahead and do one side with you guys. We'll come out again at least 1, 2, 3 blocks from here, maybe. Let's go 4. 1, 2, 3. Here, and then we'll grab our stuff here and create an outline like so. And then pretty much just repeat the process. So 1, 2, 3, cross, or a T, whatever you want to call it. Like so on each side. Bada bing, bada boom. And then we'll go ahead. Nope. That's not where you go. We'll go ahead and then fill in the stuff like we did on the SPS casing on, nope. Back to me. I like that. Like this. And then again, fill up the corners as well. Like so. And then fill in these corners like this. At least I think. That's right, right? Yeah, that's right. And then same deal on the top here. So let's go ahead and fill in these spots like this. And you'll notice I have no reactor glass remaining. So what we need to do really is put in our reactor controller somewhere. It can really go anywhere. Then put the reactor controller there. Actually, I don't think the reactor controller should go there. I think the controller... let's see. Capable of managing both glasses and energy from the reactor. So let's go ahead and put the I'll save the spot for it like here. We'll put it on top. Then we have some ports. So I'm going to leave a port here, a port on this side, and then we'll also need a port for the steam, which I will put... Oh god, I perfectly lined it up with this, didn't I? Well, our steam is going to come out the front then. That's fine. Actually, no, it can't go out the front. It's going to come out the back. And you'll see why it can't go in the front later. And I'll go ahead and fill in the rest of this. Do our outline like we talked about. And that should be a structure almost, except we're missing one more piece. And that piece is actually this laser focus matrix. So we're going to have to go craft that. And the laser, it's really easy. It's reactor glass with a block of redstone. I'm going to go ahead and teach the system how to craft that because I've been teaching how to craft everything. So the laser focus, we'll probably want a couple of these, but just for now, we'll go ahead and make one just to make sure our structure is complete. It is not. I missed something. Who put this port there? Why is there a port there? That's on me. And then I guess I must have missed or something. I don't know. There we go. Now it's complete. And if you come up to here, this reactor thing will be lit up. You can click on it, and we will go through this later. And before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and cut the power to our critical phase shifter, and you'll see why I'm cutting the power here soon. I kind of want to build up a little bit of a back supply from this thing specifically, and not drain from our main power source, because you'll see these things take a lot of power to start up. So if you open up the quest book here, you'll see the next step in this process is, well, we're going to need to fuel this reactor with DT fuel, but we'll go down that line later. We also need to jumpstart this, which is why I was saying it requires a lot of power to start in the first place. So you need at least 400 million for it to work in the first place. So what you need here is a couple of laser amplifiers and a couple lasers, and you can build this however you want. You can build this how it's shown in the quest with like laser into a matrix, and then you can release it later. But I'm going to do probably a little more than that just in case we need to, for whatever reason, jumpstart this thing again. I don't plan on doing it, but just in case we do need to, I'm going to create a little bit better of a backup here. And we'll go for 3 of these to start with. And then our lasers, I'm going to want 12 of these lasers. So go and grab the 12 lasers also. And now what I'm going to do is we're going to start building our jumpstart mechanism, I guess. So I'm just going to use cobblestone here for a second, and then we'll just come out a couple blocks here. That's facing the wrong way. Let's see. there a way to switch way that's facing? Let's see. This red dot here, you want facing towards your oh shit. Towards your reactor. So, god damn it, wrong thing. Oh my god. So this red dot needs to be facing whichever way you want the laser to go. And I want the laser to go into our reactor, obviously. Oh my, I'm a mess right now. Do that. And then from here, you can go ahead and look at the quest book here. And notice how there's like one block between the laser and the thing. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to go ahead and put... I'm going to give it a laser from each side here. On the sides like so. And of course, face this way. So I'm going to come out 1, 2, 3, and then break that one. 2, 3, break that one. And then place them down like this. Remove that. And then place one on the bottom like that. And you'll see why I'm leaving the top open in a second. But essentially, go ahead and just repeat this process. Like so, with our next laser base, and then the one after that. And I'll repeat this process and come back. Alright, so here are all of our lasers. And to get these to work the way you want them to, you can leave these first two alone. You see how they both store like 2 billion. Come into your last laser in the line here if you have multiple, or if it's the first one, come into it anyway. And then come in here and then just say redstone detection on a pulse. And basically what that means is we can now go ahead and get like any random block. Let's go ahead and get a diamond block because we're rich like that. You put a diamond block here and then grab like a button or something. And then just put your button on top right there so that this way, this will not fire any of the energy it has until we press this button. And you'll see why we want to do that in just a second. But first, we need to go ahead and make sure that all of these are powered with power, I guess. Okay, now I have all of these connected to a universal cable. You don't have to connect them in like a square like this. I just wanted to make it look better. Now I'm going to go ahead and connect this to our main power line over there. I haven't connected it yet. I have one more thing to do, but in theory, before I connect it up, all this power should power these lasers, and these lasers should feed the power into this amplifier. This amplifier should feed this amplifier. This amplifier is then being fed by this one and all these lasers, and this amplifier then feeds this amplifier, which is fed by all these lasers and the previous two amplifiers. And then it shouldn't shoot out any of the power until I press the button. So if I go ahead and connect this, we're either going to lose all our power instantly or it'll work. There we go. And it's working. So now this thing is storing up a lot of power. You need 400 million in total. And yep, so now the more lasers you add, just makes this charge rate go a little bit faster. So the more amplifiers you add, the more lasers, the faster it goes. And it won't fire until I press the button, which we're not going to press yet. The reason we're not going to press it is because we need to make the fuel for the reactor itself. We need DT fuel, which is actually for us, it's very easy to make at this point. So there are two ways to fuel the reactor: pumping DT fuel directly into the reactor at 1,000 millibuckets per tick, or pumping each of the two fuels in separately at controlled rates. And we're going to do the second option because that's much better. Separately is definitely the way to go. So we've already made a solar neutron activator. Oh, thank you for the thermal evaporation plant thing, because we're going to be needing it. Go ahead and toss the rest of this in there. And deuterium. So to get deuterium and DT fuel, that's a D in DT fuel. So DT fuel and Mekanism, if you look at it from here, go ahead and bookmark it. You need tritium and deuterium. Deuterium is really easy. It just comes from an electrolytic separator from heavy water. And to get heavy water, you just need to put a, if you follow the quest on here, you just need a pump and a filter upgrade. So I'm going to go ahead and make a pump and filter upgrade. And by a pump, I'm making lots of pumps because we're going to max this thing out. Okay, so I have 16 filtered upgrades mixed with 16 electric pumps. Do we need this many? It's going to be debatable. But, you know, why not? That's all I got to ask you. What does this have? Does this have water? The water? It is water, okay. So to get our DT fuel, I'm actually just gonna do a simple setup, probably. Honestly, probably just above the reactor, because why not? So let's grab some concrete and make a little platform up here with water. And there we go. We have a little water platform. We have all this verticality. We might as well use it. So what we're going to do here is go ahead and set up our pumps. I'm going to come up one more block like so. And then place our pumps here. Nope, not there. Why can't you two be normal? There we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same on the rest of this. Might as well make 2 more pumps to finish out this and make it look at least a little bit better. Not that, you know, aesthetics are a thing I care about that much, but I can try sometimes. And I'm going to go ahead and go in each one here and put in our filter. Alright, I've gone ahead and filled all of these with all the necessary upgrades. So they all have speed, energy, and the filter upgrade. And now I need to go through and apparently get rid of some of the water that my inventory charged this thing with. So, why can't I do that? Okay, gotta do it that way. There we go. And now I get a little bit of heavy water. That's very nice. That's what we want. I'm gonna go ahead and drain the rest of these. I'm gonna go ahead and connect them all up to power down here from our little thing we ran over. And then all of these should fill up. They don't use that much power. 640 at max. I'm not sure if we'll be using all this heavy water or not. But yeah, and then from here, I think I'm actually just going to go ahead and fill this center up. I don't think we actually need the glass. I'll fix that, and then you'll see why. So, alright, to get the deuterium and the DT fuel equation, we need to separate this with an electrolytic separator. So the one thing I've been using a lot that I have not encoded, I'm going to go ahead and make one of those. Now let's go ahead and place it here, I guess. Give it the usual wombo combo. Did I grab all speed? I did. Okay, we need some energy upgrades here, people. Energy upgrades done. And then we'll grab our ultimate mechanical pipes and place them on the top row like this. And they should all start filling up with heavy water. And then what we'll go ahead and do is connect this up like so. This will get heavy water. It'll make deuterium and oxygen. We're going to dump the excess oxygen. And then we're also going to need to run a power cable. Actually, psych. I don't want to run a power cable over. So we're just going to do this. And now we are full of deuterium. And deuterium is one half of the equation that we are looking for. The other half is going to be tritium. And to get tritium, you need lithium and a solar neutron activator. And we've already been through the whole lithium approach, but I'm going to try someone else's approach. Been watching KSL a lot, and I've seen he does a different way, and I'm going to follow that way because I'm copying him. So what we're going to do is get lithium. Instead of doing the way we did to get the lithium that we're currently getting, I could just repurpose it, honestly. We don't need this much lithium, but I need to make a new setup to make sure this is very fast, to make sure we can supply this with everything we need. This isn't centered. Who allowed this to happen? So you know the drill. In order to get lithium, you gotta get brine. To get brine, you gotta get water into this. And I'll go ahead and make a quick setup for this. Okay, I've set up a couple of these evaporation plants. I'll just use a copy paste gadget to get them down. And then the back has all the valves we need. And this will be the initial setup. Hopefully this is enough to get this all taken care of, honestly. So to get water in all these, we're going to use the eternal water block. You need a weather container, evil craft when it begins to rain. Essentially, you need to make weather containers. And then you can craft it like this, I guess. My only sunshine. I guess you need to get stuff in the first place, which is unfortunate. Well, let's go ahead and craft some weather containers. We'll need, it's 4 per bottle. So let's go ahead and just make 4, so we make 16. And then that was a quest apparently. We'll go find one of those ritual things in the world and go get some rain. Right as I got here, it started raining too. So will this work? Now it's gotta rebuild its charge. But I did get this, so we can go ahead and craft one of these by using buckets while we wait for the charge. Yeah, and then I just need to wait for this charge to fill back up and fill more bottles by throwing it on top, by the way, just like that. But since I'm waiting, it doesn't work. Now we have 3 of these weather containers, and we can go ahead and craft 12 of these. We only need 10. But might as well get more. So none of these have water in them as of right now. Actually, I don't even need. We don't need 12 this many anyway. But go ahead and put this here, and then you'll notice this thing is insta-filled with water, which is very nice. Insta-fill with water, insta-fill with water. Boom, boom, boom. And then we'll cut it in half, I guess. Like so. That should be fine, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'll make one more, but I don't know where to put it. I should have done 9. I messed up. Oh well. And then I'm just going to go ahead and take out and connect. No, God, not the water. I messed up. I messed up. Actually, that's fine. We'll leave it like that for now. And then we'll get the resistive heater. We want some of these. We want a couple of these. So I'm going to go teach system how to make it. Like so. Resistive heater. And then we'll make a couple of these. I think we'll need 1, 2. Let's just start with 5. They're cheap. It doesn't matter. 5. And then we'll grab some of these. Oh God. Wait, it's a quest line? I didn't even know this is part of a quest line. I missed that. I guess I'm missing all the mods 9 too. Oh well. We'll go ahead and like place it here. And here and here. And then you can just go ahead and place your. At least I thought you could. Just slap a normal thing on there. Okay, so if I get the universal, you have to be powered with this. That's a mechanical pipe. That is not a cable. No. Where do you take power from? I think I placed it the wrong way. Yeah, I definitely placed it the wrong way. Alright, time to get the hammer out. Thank you. Then we'll go ahead and just slap on our ender gates, and then we'll set them to use. Alright, what are we at now, though? We're at temp of 295k, production of that. So if I set you to a temperature to use like 5,000. The temp is rising. Who's getting the temperature here? Neither of you are getting the temperature. 4K. I found out why, and that's because I didn't know that these needed the valve also. So that should go up to max temp. And then I'll also get this one and go up to max temp as well. There we go. So it's temp at 519k. Will it stop at 519? No, it'll go a little bit past that. So 5k is definitely good for both. Yeah, so I'll let it run up. Okay, now they're all nice and set up. How much power's in here? 2 billion? Oh, we're losing power. I'm just dumping power at this point. I forgot about that. I'll go ahead and disconnect that and let it do its thing. But yeah, so now we have all of these heated up. Some with brine, and the rest of these will be filled with well, they'll turn the brine into lithium. There we go. I ran some cables in the back, and now we're pulling out the brine, or or the brine from these, inserting into the ones with it that don't have water inputs, and those are producing lithium, and then lithium's being extracted out of this side on all of them, and now we have a lot of lithium. And each one of these can produce about 1100 millibuckets per tick, so that's 1.1 buckets per tick is what we're producing here. Then we just need to run this lithium through a decondensator. And now that we have all this lithium pumped into a decondensator, now we have our normal lithium. And that normal lithium needs to be pumped into a solar neutron activator. Did I make a recipe for that? I did. Let's go ahead and make 10 of these. We'll probably need more than 10, honestly. But we'll just start off with 10 for now. We'll just pull our lithium out of this and put it into all these neutron activators. Probably going to need more than one condensator here. But like I said, these are... Ooh, they eat some power. Yeah, so while these are all filled up, they now need access to the sky. And now they all have access to the sky now. One problem being that... Can you move? It's nighttime, so they're not going to be making anything. But now that it's daytime, we have lots of tritium. Huzzah. And we'll go ahead and hook pipes up to the front here like so. And now we can go ahead and make our DT fuel. Now, I don't want to make too much DT fuel in the beginning, but we do need at least a little bit here. And to get our initial batch of DT fuel, we need to grab a chemical infuser and input these two. I'm not going to use too much of it though, so you need like a little shot of it. So we go ahead here, just put this here, we'll get tritium there. Let's back in my hotbar. And then make sure that out the back is output 1, I think. Yeah, output 1 out the back. And now we have deuterium, and then we have DT fuel right there. Very nice. I'm not sure how much DT fuel we need. But we need to make a hull rum. And that will be the last thing that we need. So let's come in here and find our coal. Coal. Okay. Do I have anything else? Thank you. Now we have the hull at Mekanism. I don't remember what it's called. There we go. Now we have this. And then you put it right here in the plus. Yeah, we did not need that much DT fuel, but we got a little bit extra. You only need like 10 millibuckets. So go ahead and pick that up. And then I'll place it like right here just so we have a little bit left over. So the final step in this process is to get our DT fuel and get our deuterium and our tritium piped into this bad boy here. And with this, we should get deuterium and tritium in here at the same time. There we go. And then we just need to generate a little bit of power for some reason. We'll go ahead and grab our hull rum here. And then we're just about ready to go. So the last thing we have to do here really is press this button and it should turn the reactor on. I'm going to give it a test run here. I'm not going to let it run too long. But there we go. Button pressed. Thing is on and we are producing. Let's see. We're not water cooling it just yet. We will water cool it here soon. So passive generation here, it seems to be, well, air cooled. Passive generation of 320,000 FE a tick, which is okay. And passive generation, it looks like with water cooled would be 176k with that. But if we go into the stats, the fuel, we can actually edit the injection right here. So deuterium at 500 and all that. As you can see, we're making lots more deuterium than we are using. Lots more. And also same thing with tritium as well. The only thing blocking us on making more tritium is just adding more of these. And we'll be good to go. But yeah, so We can actually edit the injection rate here. Let's see what we can get it to. I bet we can get the injection rate up to like, if we're at 2, what's the max injection rate? I don't know. Let's try like 50. And still outproducing with Deuterium by a long shot. Tritium outproducing by a long shot. There we go. Now we got a lot of heat. And it's really heating up. But yeah, so now we should be producing 8 million FE a tick, which is very nice. We also produce 4.5 million millibuckets of steam. But how far can I push this thing? We come back here and I say fuel 100. Oh, we can't do 100. 99, is that allowed? 98 is the max, okay. And still outproducing on deuterium, which is great. And still outproducing on tritium, so we don't even need to worry about it, honestly. We can max out a fusion reactor, which is very nice. And with these stats, we make a little over 15.5 million FE per tick. And then over 8.8 million millibuckets of steam per tick. So I think at 15.5 million per tick, I think we're good enough to just not use a turbine yet. And if we ever do come into a need where we need more power, I'll go ahead and just switch this to water cool and start pumping in water. And then we can just use the turbines from the steam that this produces. So for now, I think we'll just go ahead and grab our ultimate cables here. And we should be able to just pull the power out. Let me see. Yep, there we go. Now we have power that we can pull out, and I will hook it up to our system. And there we go. It's been hooked up, and now our system should be getting input of 200, almost 210 million FE per tick between the two of them. So that's very nice. Very nice. And then one last thing before I end out the episode here. Usually I like to put a chemical tank for the tritium because the tritium only runs at daytime. So unless you have something to automatically flip it to day, I like to have like a little bit of a buffer here. On top of the buffer that comes with these pipes already. It won't run out before daytime comes, but just something to think about. Now I can go ahead and turn on our super phase critical shifter thing. And with that, looks like our first antimatter pellet is about to come through. Look at it. An antimatter pellet. How nice. Actually, we have about 4.5 million FE per tick going into this thing, and that's just because these cables can't like manage the amount of power this thing produces. They just simply can't do it. So I'm thinking we might want a couple more maybe ports or something. Now we can up our how much power we can pull out. But yeah. If you guys have any better ideas, apply or or whatever, let me know in the comments. But until next time, see you.